Here we are again, finally back on track. So, I have to ogle at what I did the last time for a moment before we get started for real, and then I can get started for real. So, I finally have 15 plates per second. Isn't that wonderful? We have finally left the basic starter base behind us, and I'm ready to set up, well, the foundation of them all. I say the foundation of them all because I'm lacking so many things that Krastorio gets down there. So we're going to need way more than that. A polarizer. Say, did that thing get a new skin? I could bet that these looked a little bit differently. Okay, so where to next, science-wise? I think nanobots are fine. I'm really using these guys a lot, and speaking about which, let's get started and craft ourselves a couple of these folks. So basically, if I remember correctly, the entire mineral production so far is now being transported automatically via rails. The only thing which is not automated is the refueling of the locomotives. So I don't know. I don't want to get. I don't want to break my noggin about that right now. I mean, here we can just pipe it over there, and okay, I'll get it done. If I see a simple solution like that, I can't say no. Yes. We happen to have the fuel right here, so happy about this layout so far. It's very, very simple, very, very noob like me, but at the same time, it is very effective at bundling up our backbone here. I like that. So here we go. Should have that work with the green one too. No, seriously no. Okay. Must be one grid or so. Anywho, let's see. Let's do another splitterino. Should that work? Well, doesn't look like it's working as intended. Let's do it different. Let's make it like that. Maybe we need to drop it closer to the head of this thing. Like I said, noob. Where's the fuel going? Shouldn't that work out? Oh no, we're one grid off. Now I see the problem. I'm not close enough. The perspective is trolling me. That's all. I bet it works now too, with that one. Yep, it's just the perspective. Okay, you gotta try stuff to see what can go possibly wrong with that. Okay, so we're going to wire that stuff down here. Or, never mind, that's way too stupid. I can't just branch it off from the main tree back there. So we don't even need the splitter here. That's just a dead end. Or, well, yeah, I can't tap into the fuel reserve from this one here to get the job done there. So, should be all easy. I'll be setting these up as soon as I see the next locomotive there, sitting around, waiting. Okay, wonderful. I'm so happy about all this. So, let's see. Let's see. Have a sip of tea. And with those materials available, we'll have to set up what we got down there right another time. But this time, I want to make it a little bit smarter and a little bit more effective. We now know all these parts are going to be necessary for the interior of our mall. So what I want to try out this time, and when I started out with this mod pack, I wanted to do that right from the get-go, but I didn't, is I want to set up now first a intermediate parts hub, so to say. I really want to focus on the production of the intermediate parts, and I'm going to do that up here, and then we're going to pipe over the raw material here into the mall, and the intermediate materials will also flow into the mall from somewhat of that angle. So that's the idea, because you need so damn many intermediate materials when you are running AAI Industries that I really regretted it terribly to not centralize my intermediate part production at a certain point. It really turned everything into a ruddy chaos, and by the time that I realized what I did wrong, the entire base was a hot mess. You really didn't want to go on out there anymore, and that's what I'm trying to do better this time. So we got these materials there. We definitely need to bring up the stone as well, because it took me quite some effort to get the stone up here. So let's see. Where is it? There is it. Going to pick up some fast belts because I want to transport the raw stone as quick as possible. Going to need a couple of underground with these guys too. So yikes! Didn't mean to touch that. So thanks. Good thing that I had my my spawn point right next to that. Okay, so where was I before I died? So let's face the fact we were aiming that train the wrong way. And it's going to go that way. There we go. So, is a red one powerful enough for that distance? Thought so. Okay, so I got these wired up there. Can we go for a red splitter? Ish. Just need some iron plate. Terrible enough that I don't have any in my inventory. So let's do that. Man, this new update of space exploration got me so addicted. Love it. I'm all vibing for Factorio again with that. So. Ah, well. Give me a sec. I don't like that. If anything, should be like that. Right now, these little things do matter still, because I really have no steady supply of these materials, therefore we'll have to work out with that. Okay, so I'm piping in raw stone because I know that raw stone is as necessary as its more refined versions. So concrete comes to mind. How far is water? Not too far, but somewhat far. Damn. So definitely time for a new radar panel. Okay. Definitely time for more radar panel. So it's gonna be, well, whatever. From this point on, it's going to be mushy anyways. It's very hard to hit the right cluster. Doesn't matter too much. Okay. Let's pick pick up the power poles and march west. Because I really want to have some idea of what's going on over there. It's bothering me to have no radar coverage of a certain area, always. So, how far out are we? Almost far out enough. Wonderful. Okay. So I could have now aligned the radar panel in a way that it just fit into the pattern of the other ones that I have put out there. Well, I didn't go off too far. But yeah. I really want radar coverage if I dip into the water here. And at the same time, we already spotted a nice coal deposit here, a nice copper deposit once this runs dry. We still need way more iron than we got here. This is a nice start, but this certainly doesn't get us anywhere. So, oh yeah, here's already a new stone deposit visible. Very good, because stone is also very low-ish. There was another deposit here which I wanted to tap into, but yeah, we getting there. We getting there. All right, so let's go. Best part is I have a nice little uranium patch here around the corner, so we can start Covarex refining as soon as we have that researched. Okay, let's go. Now, what kind of products from stone will we need? So, let's check out sand. Will I need sand in the intermediate production? The answer is yes, because concrete is as much as an intermediate as everything else. We are also going to need glass and all this stuff, but for now, with stone, I don't want to specialize myself here too much. This little square here is meant to be our spot where we're going to put up the real deal later when we have electric furnaces or industrial furnaces. But for the time being, I'm just slapping down stuff as it seems fit, because we are okay with that method, you know. So sand happens to be a very, very versatile material, so let's put up a crusher or even a pulverizer if we had that already, but well, a crusher. Let's just see how much production goes through a crusher. Let's see, we're lacking copper, not a problem. And then we're going to get ourselves some sand on the belts. Nothing special. Just want to make sure that we got all the stuff prepared that we're going to need for them all. Miguel, hi there. I'm so happy to see you as well, man. This stuff got me all hooked up again. I'm so down with it again. And happy to catch you guys as well. So the pulverizer will need concrete, so this is going to be a little bit further down the road. So big power poles need concrete too. You see, there is an emerging pattern, isn't it? We are also going to need coke, and we're going to need so many intermediate products that, yeah, we're gonna be good. In the long run, as soon as this stuff is built away, well, okay. Already thinking way too far ahead, you know. So we are going to need all manner of different intermediates there. So I'm not going to start to put iron sticks and iron gear wheels on the belt or something like that in advance, but something like a single cylinder engine comes in mind already, because it already has a pretty nasty recipe in itself, and it is an ingredient in so many things. Don't get me started about those stupid multi-cylinder engines. So we really, really need a lot of material to work with. So let's start with that, I'd say. I really hope that my starter base down there will still have the juice to provide me some stuff. We'll see about that. So we're going to make it as follows. On this side here, I'm going to make the raw materials, and this side has the advanced materials. So this doesn't make sense yet. It'll do, hopefully, in a minute. If not, my plan was faulty, and I'm very sorry. Shit happens. I'll retry better next time. Okay, jokes aside, what we're going to do now is I want to set up, like, let's say, at least 3 assemblers with copper cables for whatever we're going to do now down the road. Let's see, inserter-wise, they are happy with a pair of fast inserters. Wonderful. Because I do know that copper cable will be necessary in many areas. So we're going to provide that. And that I'll do with a lot of other things. This whole thing here is meant to be torn down by the next further notice as well. But it'll gonna be a nice way to help ourselves. Because you see, at least if we want to start out with small electric motors, we're also going to run into the same problem there. So we're going to need that. By the way, if you wonder why I do this weird spacing between the assemblers, that's mostly because of the sucky tier 1 power poles. But we're also going to get past that age. But I really want to start out something that allows me to notch up my game a bit. We're going to use that area here later, of course, for more efficient builds, because we have to use that area as well, because, you know, there's only so much room here on the map. And let's just do this and do that, and now we have a couple of basics there. I think I discovered you with the last space exploration series. Yeah, well, it's been a while. I had a pretty much a on-off relationship with space exploration, also because I really was quite the rookie when I started out and underestimated the scope of it all, and totally didn't get along with what I did there. And yeah, well, you get the idea, I'm sure. So yeah, now I'm back, and I'm very eager to do things. So, remember me just saying a moment ago that I won't put iron sticks and iron gear wheels on belts? But I meant inside the mall. Inside the mall, if I ever need these, I'll just put up an assembler and manufacture them on site. These parts are, in my humble opinion, not worth to be transported longer distances, because it's so easy to just construct them on site. You only need an extra assembler. They only need resources you will most likely have inside your mall anyways. I couldn't imagine a mall without iron plates, for example, or copper plates, so you get the idea. Okay, we have the basics down for that. I know that iron beams are also a necessity, but let's just what? What can we manufacture out of copper plates here too? Is there any intermediate that I am derping out here right now? So, automation cores. Yeah, okay, that's a strong contender. And you see here, iron sticks, iron gear. And the automation core, that's something I'm going to import into the mall, because it's a pain in the rear to construct them on site, and I did that mistake so often in my old layouts, to construct those suckers inside the mall, and the mall was horrible because of that. Jam, hi there. Yeah, well, you know, at least I didn't start with pi, okay? And Bob Angels didn't motivate me enough, because Bob Angel mods lacks some theme for me, if that makes any sense. I feel Bob Angel is great in all regards, but it's more like a toolbox to be integrated in a theme, and without a theme, it bored me quite quickly. I tried it. Didn't work out too well for me. So now I want to unify these bad boys like that. And we are going to leave it on like not that, because there has to fit an assembler in between. Something like that. Yeah, alright. So we still have one output opportunity sideways. Perfect. Now, let's see. How much automation core does one of these suckers produce? Whoop. Whoop. So that's half a automation core per second. Okay. We need 1 and 1. We have an output of 2. We have here an output of 1. Okay, so we'll definitely upgrade here by another net. Yeah, well, I started Pi. I managed to make these rubber thingies for the vials. Then I figured I'm too noob for that, and then I ran away screaming or something like that. Good times. All right, so let's see. I definitely want to have at least 2 machines producing automation cores for me. Just too necessary, you know. So, let's see. We don't need iron plate for that. We do need these things, those things, and output that here. So, let's see. Does that work inserter-wise? No, we need 2 of these on this side. I think the theme for me comes in with the alien breeding for modules in the metal casting for industry. Well, for me, the only theme I saw with the Bob Angel was their love for detail for actual industrial processes. That's the only thing I saw there and I liked, but that was at that time not enough to keep me hooked up. And since I'm a sucker for narratives, you know, why I ended up with these. Okay, so that should be now compatible. So I'm using up the output of 1 of these and the output of 2 of these already. Alright, electric power distribution done. Now, let's see, meteor point defense. Don't get me started. We have to work a hard way before we go there. Although, I gotta see. Did they come cheaper, or am I mistaking that? I think I'm mistaking these with a more modern version of those. There are 2 versions of planetary defense there. Let's go flammables. It's going to help me in the long run as well. So, here we go. So, how many automation cores does this produce? 2. Okay. Now, well, I'd love to do more, but my capacity, iron-wise, is something I have to respect at the end of the day. I don't have endless of these. So yeah, let's go for inserter parts next. A very, very important thing as well. And we can't just put them here together on belts. So let's make that like this. And this will make the mall so much tidier. I should have done that a while ago, but, well, don't want to be that hard on me. It's always awesome to see improvement. That's the most important thing. So, let's see. Long-handed inserter goes output on the near side. Okay. So, how's the consumption of one of these? Basically the same. So we have now this drained, that drained, and these are entirely down. So if I want more gear wheels, I'd need to build more downhill. There's only so much space here left, so, well, let's see about that. But I have now 1 unit of inserter pods per second. It's not amazing, but it's better than nothing. So that's one thing that I wanted to provide. The other thing I want to provide are some of these damn engines. So let's see. These multi-cylinder engines, they are iron incarnate. So how about leaving this little thing here as it is and just split off some extra iron and just work on something else there. Oh, I broke my basic concept. I wanted to create the very basics here and the advanced stuff here. Maybe I'll do that when I scale it up. Because right now we're going to make a small scale operation out of that. Because I'd love to do it bigger, but I am working here with one full belt each. That's surely not a lot. So let's just keep that copper here if necessary. Okay, so I want to produce multi-cylinder engines. Let's slap down an assembler randomly here and see how the ratios are. Yikes! 0.050. So we'd need 20 of these machines to produce one lousy engine per second. Oh, I didn't expect it to be that bad. Well, so this would require us to create a little park there. But I mean, at the end of the day, what is it? 2 plates per second? 2 engines per second? 2 gear wheels per second. The gear wheels are the least of my worries. So let's Helmod it up. Come on. Let's do this. I want that. So this is going to be incredibly inefficient at the end of the day, but whatever. So here we go. Let's do this like that, and here we go. Oh, I need to change the preferences here. Factory default level is supposed to be 2. That should do the trick. Okay, so yeah, it's 27 assemblers. Do I even have enough in my pocket? The answer is no, I don't. Beautiful. Well, let's handcraft one. I mean, these preparations, they are pretty ouchy, but at the end of the day, they'll be so much worth it. So, because that'll compactify the entire mall, and what's way more important behind that, it makes it all replaceable and reworkable. That's maybe one of the worst mistakes I made in the past, that I didn't spend enough thought about how to make it expandable, what to do about it when I need it bigger, what to do with it if it is obsolete, and how to rework it. These questions asked in advance will make your whole build entirely different, I tells you. So, we're going to need 4 machines for the gear wheels, and 3 machines for the engines. So let's do this. Obviously, I don't need that spacing like you see there. It'll surely make them look nicer, but whatever. Does that work? Okay, so that's the gear wheels we need. All the gear wheels we need for the entire process. So we're going to need 2 of these for the multi-cylinder engines, and the other 2 of these for these guys. So for these guys. So what I just realized is we're going to make it like that. And here we need 3 machines doing that. Because I just realized it's really not worth transporting just a handful of gear wheels over there if the multi-cylinder engine is asking for iron plate itself. So sleep well, Jam. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate that a lot, man. More than you might think. Alright, so let's do this. What do these guys need inserter-wise? Yeah, well, definitely will get on over with it like that. speaking about inserters, we are starting to run low on these. But the wonderful thing right now is it doesn't matter that terribly anymore, because we are now living right next to assemblers producing the parts for these, so it's basically getting easier and easier, so to say. Okay, and now we got the multi-cylinder engines there, and the sweetest part is, if I ever need more of these single-cylinder engines, if I now ever happen to need more of these single-cylinder engines, I can just expand that, slap in more iron gear wheels at this point, and make it longer at that point, and if I need more of these, I'll just produce more of these. Expandable. Wonderful. So, let's see. We are going to have a bridge here, and there. Wonderful. Working out decently. So, I bet that this is a job for basic inserter as well, right? Oh no, I'm running out of power poles. No! Oh, dang. Let's just craft them locally. And as you see here, it requires iron sticks and copper cable, so let's take a big gulp here. Loot a couple of these guys, and our handcrafting will be a lot faster now. Alrighty, so that's the stuff I need for this procedure, and now let's commence the madness. We're going to need 20 machines doing this for us, so we can now either make it one long thing or double bar thing, but I'm more down for the long thing. What we're also needing now is some iron for this operation, so let's provide. Here we go. And I'm out of belts, but that's not an issue at all. I got my little workshop there. I'm well prepared up here. The only thing I'll be running out soon are inserters, so sucks somewhat, but let's check out if it works out like I think. I think if I loot the contents of these machines, I should be able to easily handcraft inserters quite quickly. Let's see. Oh, dang. Fast inserters need steel. There goes my plan. Okay, well. Oh yeah, let's real quickly fix up the locomotive here. While I'm here, I want to make sure that this thing's never running out of fuel here. Not much of an effort, but very important for the longevity of the whole system. Okay. Flare stack. The almighty flare stack. The best thing to relieve us from nasty ratios and circuits when working with fluid networks. Okay. Just hitching a manual ride here on the iron train. I mean, I see a decent chance that we are going to provide way more ore than we are consuming right now, but that's actually working as intended then, because I don't mind if that's the case. Because I want to enrich all that ore, preferably anyways. The non-enriched processing is actually not cool at all to do, because we're wasting iron ore constantly, basically. I mean, I'm not going to let myself grow any gray hair about that, but it's a thing. So, dropping off this little deposit here. We're already digging a lot here. Nice. Working nicely. I like how my setup worked out so far. I really do. This whole facility here will soon run dry, sadly. It can't work out that much longer. But at the same time, what cares? We had a really, really good run with that one. It really got me somewhere. So that thing is very... can be a little bit higher on the limit. And steel. I need steel for my private consumption. I like to have a bit of steel in my pocket now. How about glass? Well, here we go. Same goes for glass. A couple of units of glass are so useful to have because you can handcraft some buildings only with glass. You know, therefore it's really useful to have that available if ever necessary. A couple of units in your pocket. I mean, I'm kind of a messy player, always have been, always will be, but I really don't feel bad about it. So here we go. Get those guys a little bit of fuel, and let's hitch a ride back to the main facility. Just wanted to go back home before I run out of inserters, because it really sucks when you run out of inserters in the middle of the operation. That's when I end up doing mistakes, you know. Okay, then, let's roll. I find that very comfy to have that train network here. That's just available for me to go from one spot on the map to another. Because it's a lot faster than walking. And I have, by now, a lot of little stations here available that are helping me out, you know. Oh yeah, I know a way how we're going to do this with the whole fuel thing. Because we can refuel on top of that. We can just pick up from the hood, no problem. And then we're going to pipe the fuel over to this locomotive, and then finally that job has been dealt with too. All the locomotives have power then. Fuel then. Just set power because I realized that I forgot to pick up power poles. There's always something, isn't it? But whatever. So, back to business. I also picked up a huge amount of assembling machines because, you know, we definitely going to need them. And let's keep going. Let's just keep going. Alrighty, so, wait a sec, that splitter is silly. We're going to make it happen here. It's much more efficient that way. So we can now just... let's see, we need 2 more facilities for the gear wheels. And we'll just output onto this side. Is one long-handed enough? Or do we need more? Nope, one is fine. Nice. Yeah, so... I might be not needing these engines in large quantities yet, but I know I will. These are quite a pretty... normal stuff back down the road. Wait a sec, we're going to make it like that. That's 5. Ooh. Since I got nanobots, I don't want to do everything manually anymore. So we're going to set up 1 block here. Fast input. I bet I would be okay with a yellow one. Let's check it out. These things are slow turners, aren't they? Yeah. Okay. And now let's just copy the inserter setup first. Then wire it up. I I hate small power poles, by the way, just so you know. But it's all I got for the moment. And let's just copy that ×5. Hold down Shift. It's 15, and it's 20. You're wondering why the hell I keep this little spacing here between every 5? That has 2 reasons for me. First off, it's to count. God, this looks terrible. And the second thing is, it is leaving a tiny space open for expansion later down the road. So if you ever run into the situation that you need to snuggle something in between, it's really cool if you have these little alleys here helping you out to produce that. So I'm really sorry for all those people who hate cable catastrophes. We're going to rule that out once I have the medium power poles, promise, okay? Alpha Dash, welcome. So happy to see you, mate. So, now, we got 1 multi-cylinder engine per second. Brilliant. I like that. Let's get on over to the next thing. I want the same for these stupid blue things. So, here, blue engines. So, what are we going to need? Luckily, this is going to be done with 2 machines. Alright. Brilliant. And here we're going to need the output of 3 machines. So, that's actually a very, 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 very simple thing. Actually, so simple that it's not even worth the pin, but whatever. So, we are able to do this as follows. We got that on a belt. We are going to need only 1 of these guys, so... let's just make it like that. See 2 options. Well, whatever, huh? So... there we go. Little trick to compactify these things. And, well... so these little blue motors, they aren't really a huge effort, so, well, whatever. We are going to transport them on the same belt as the multi-cylinder ones. I might even consider amping up the production by a notch. But this won't be a problem, because the system allows to. A limited growth only, because my space here for more copper cables is limited, but this entire facility is not meant to be big time, you know, never ever. We are here just preparing a approach for a nice and tidy mall. I really just want to try for once to have a mall that doesn't look like ass. Just for once, you know. What is happening here? I thought I can trust you, Automatic. You fool. It's that easy. Here we go. I knew it was possible. Quite easily possible, even. That's enough, isn't it? Okay. So we're going to transport the finished product. There were 2 ways to solve that issue. Either reconfigure the inserters or just do a little bit of this. So like I said, this is just to kickstart us in a proper way. Okay, so I'm really tempted to go for more than that. I did mess up a little bit the thing with the iron gear wheels, I notice. This is not ideal. Should have built that up the other way around, but whatever. I actually just realized that I want more. I actually just realized that I want more. So here we go. I hope my brain doesn't have a knot here. It does have a knot. So here we go. Sometimes I have trouble thinking around curves. Well, we're just going to copy pasta that thing here. And... oh. Yeah, well, maybe not. So, yeah, you see, all it takes is one tiny little mistake, and your whole design goes blocked. So we have now not enough copper cable on the system, and it's going to be a little bit more difficult to make it tidy. So here's where we can add in 2. Ah, yeah, I'm going to cheat a bit. Just realized I just want to have a decent throughput of these things there. And then we're just going to pipe it on over there. Make it look like a normal job. And here. This guy will grab from here, and that guy will grab from here. So let's see, did I get it under control now again? It's only one side now, but it's the wrong side. So if I'm not mistaken, I should have fixed it now. Yeah, that's some good old-fashioned spaghetti, man. Yeah, but I fixed it now. Really terrible fix, though, gotta say. Shouldn't have never been like that. But since I'm working on close quarters here, and since I don't want to keep that anyways, it's okay for the time being. This whole mall has to suffer an entire rework as soon as we go to space, so to say. And that's when I'm going to go on here and raise that whole place and rebuild it with substations and all. At least that's the plan. So we got that. I can't already research modules. Could you imagine that with just 2 assemblers of each science color, we're achieving all that, man? Okay, so we got now the production of 2 electric engines per second. Somewhat. There are slight outages there, so... seems like they're not grabbing the copper cable fast enough. Yeah. It's an inserter issue, which I can't really fix before I have bigger power poles. Doesn't matter. I don't need the full throughput at that point. It just matters that we got that. Okay, so what did we cross off? We have the multi-cylinder engines, we have the small electric motors, we have inserter parts, and we have automation cores. We don't have anything, let's see, electronic components, but that's a completely different department. They added lithium as a standard ingredient to that. That's new. Lithium was entirely optional in the past. I never used lithium for that regard, so it's going to be the first time that we're actually using lithium this time. And yeah, the good old electronic circuit. So I'd say we'd better fix up some of these as well. So, how about that? We'll need wood for that. For wood, we'll need sand and water. So I'm going to go with that whole stuff on an entirely different direction. And we're going to roll that through the train track there. So obviously I put splitter on the wrong pot there, and whoa, hell no. And we're going to go on over that way. Going to pick that stuff up and directly transform it into what we need for the wood production. So there's the mineral water, so I gotta respect that a bit. So where didn't we build a crusher? Crusher. Okay. So let's see. Let's just power it up with a mite of loaders. Gotta love loaders, man. So, small electric poles made out of iron sticks and copper cables. Sadly, I don't have these ingredients anywhere near close by. Whatever. Doesn't matter that much. We're all gonna fix it. We're gonna fix it all. Alright, so how much sand does that thing, or how much stone does that thing eat per second? Okay, so one loader is just perfectly capable of getting the job done, and we're not going to need any red belt furthermore. Okay, brilliant. So let's slap on a couple of greenhouses. Oh, let's see. I want to check out the ratio for glass. How much do we need? I mean, it is not really worth it at this point to go for a full belt of glass, you know? So we're probably not gonna aim for that anyways. But yeah. That'd be eating up an entire belt of stone, almost. So I'm not too interested in that either. Okay. But, well. Well. Anyhow, let's get started with the wood. That's the most, way more important thing there for now. So, the recipe with sand was so much more efficient that I told myself to never ever use the other one again, because it's such a terrible bad deal. And then put in a couple of more terribles into. It's really just if you are too lazy. I mean, I respect laziness, but it's that kind of laziness that does you no favor. So, no. Pump. Oh, I know. It's called offshore pump, and it doesn't show up there for whatever reason that is. Okay, we're going to need one offshore pump, and we're going to need to drag it all the way to the water. So, the power has to run this way. And I certainly don't have enough power poles for that purpose. So, let's create a couple of them. Yeah, it's terrible to be in the age of handcrafting again, but I can't help it that my starter base is so damn far away. It happens quite often when I am transitioning from the starter base to the actual mall. if the actual mall is geographically so far away from my starter base, these things happen that I end up handcrafting a lot. But we are able to help us out quite quickly, quite soon. Yeah, I basically have most of the things already down. There's only brick and concrete necessary, which I'm lacking right now. Okay, we got modules researched. Isn't that nice? Let's upgrade our research production, why not? And more pipe to ground. Okay. Let's see. Where are my greenhouses? There are my greenhouses. Okay. Always use underground pipes for long-term transitions of fluids, because every grid the fluid travels through a pipe, it grows slower. And for some wacky reason, here, this is only 2 grids that it travels. Basically, all that underground travel, the game doesn't realize it happens, so to say. At least according to my sources. And that's why this is important with long distance transports. But what we are doing here is, by all means, far away from real long distance transport. This is long distance transport for rookies at best. If you really got to do long distance transports of fluids, you either can do that via trains, really effective, and the other thing is put tanks in between with pumps that allow you to speed up the fluids again after they slowed down. So you basically would need a couple of pumps in between to keep the fluids moving, basically. So, just some theory crafting about fluids, in case you didn't already know. Okay, so we are now producing wood, and this wood production here is upscalable, and we also have the mineral water here right next door to us. That's okay. Fine. So with the wood production, let's see, how much wood is that producing? We are producing right now 1.33 per second. So let's go whack and just say I want seriously 15 circuits per second. I don't think that this is right now a smart thing to do, but I actually just want to know how utopian this idea would be. So 60 frickin' 8 greenhouses. Holy crap. It's rough, man. So we're definitely not going to get that working. So let's look at it the other way around. How many machines can I... Oh. So this thing churns through 3 units of wood per second. Oh. So that would mean we'd need at least 5 greenhouses for 1 machine. Oh, wow. That sucks. Well, time to produce some glass. I mean, we'll be providing them what we can provide. I mean, better than nothing. But at the same time, this also means that we are in need of more crushing. More crushing. And we are going to make this happen somewhere around here. Can't wait to get to the next level of ore production and all. But before that's really interesting, I need a steady supply of steel. So steel production will also be a thing. But for steel production, wood production is also inevitable, so it's pretty good that we are doing that. Okay, so I got the crusher. Then we are going to put that thing down somewhere around here. Just connected to a splitter. Splitter goes into loader. Loader spits out sand. We are producing 7.5 units of sand per second. We can grab some fuel from over here easily. Let's make it like that. And then we'll just slap up a couple of furnaces. Nothing special. Just a bit of glass to work with in the starting phase. Let's see how much is that actually eating up. Sand-wise, 4 units of sand, so that's actually... Wow, these things need a lot of inserter power. Good God. I wouldn't have imagined that, but whatever. I mean, I don't have the upgraded inserters anyways yet, so that's playing a big role here. Okay. Oh, I just realized that the whole fuel thing doesn't work like that. The fuel thing must go from the other side. We don't have room for more fuel input here. There it goes. Alright, lab research speed. So... No, I forgot my... I lost my thought. I knew I wanted to research something in particular, but I forgot what. Whatever, let's go for silicon. Underground pipes also allow you to walk over them, and the aliens can't eat them. True. Very true. It's an argument that's so obvious that I forgot to point it out, but you're absolutely right about that. I gotta admit, I'm usually always playing with squeak through, so I don't really notice it that much. If I have to walk over stuff that I don't want to walk over, so to say. But you're of course totally right. That's extremely useful too. Okay, we got glass now. So I also realized that my greenhouse handcrafting was extremely hampered by the lack of iron beams. So we should possibly start automatic crafting these suckers, but well, that's a pretty hard thing to do. It even needs wood to craft these. It even needs wood. Damn. But I mean, concrete is going to be the same kind of sucker there. Oh, concrete does not need iron ore anymore? Oh, how freaking nice. Oh, I'm so grateful. If I remember correctly, the old recipe required iron ore. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I have that so vividly in my memory that I have a hard time thinking that this is a false memory. Oh, there's really not much more stone fitting in there. Dang. Okay, but I can't get rid of that one. Okay. So, anywho, I got enough greenhouses going to get further. That. Let's hitch a ride on the belts. Alright. 3, 4, and... So barely enough wood for... for one assembler crafting green circuits. Feels so crazy. One assembler. Taking up all the production there. This only means one thing. Our production is damn inefficient. If that's the case, you know. But then again, it's better than no wood production at all. So, I ran out of belt, but just realized I'm going to do one thing. Nevertheless, I'm going to wire up these guys. Give them a recipe. Because they can't already produce. Even if they can't output, they can already produce. And since I know that wood has an extremely long production cycle, it's going to be actually quite useful. Okay, nice. So, let's get back to the road stop depot. Picking up some transport builds to work with. Okay. Oh man, I'm enjoying myself here so much. Okay, so now we got the necessary wood for the production of one effing thingy there, circuit board. Okay. That's pretty harsh, isn't it? So, gonna roll on over here all the way. And gonna transport the wood over this way. Oh, I'm lacking underground belts by now. Yeah, that sucks. That sucks big time. We need to go back to the Batcave. So, let's get back to this database and see what I can grab there. There's for sure something. I mean, at some point, the starter base will run out of iron plates and copper plates. But iron plates first. Oh no, there's no train to pick me up. You see, there's one fun thing there. We're gonna order ourselves a taxi. Taxi! I love trains. Choo-choo! And I'm even, and that's while being super bad at managing them. I mean, technically I understood how the signaling works. I simply never set up something that utilizes it, and therefore I'm still a little bit confused, because the last time I wanted to do signaling, it all failed because the intersections I built were too small for handling the size of my trains, and therefore they were useless, because every intersection has to have enough room for an entire train to come to a halt there. Otherwise the intersection is useless and the signaling is useless. I didn't know that when I did that, when I built that, so lesson learned. Yeah, this iron patch is bleeding out dry. Not happy about that. It was only 900k, so we're carrying it away quite quickly on. Okay. Welcome back home. So I'll plunder these. I'll plunder those. I'll plunder all of those. I know that's 150 inserters. Thanks for asking. And I'll definitely take those. And, well, I don't think I need to pick up anything else, though. Silicon processing. So, let's go for advanced electronics. Research those nasty advanced circuits. Yeah. Well, let's get going. I don't know why my brain loves the word research so much, but it certainly does. It loves it so much that I keep saying it whenever I want to say research. I don't know why. And it only happens when I'm playing Factorio. So I sense a certain conspiracy there. Okay. So, not gonna be grabbing any iron out of the system. Even though I need some right now to pick up. Oh, look at that. Every time I walk past by here, there's some miners running out of ore to mine. It's going way too quickly, I tells you. So, I think connecting up another iron outpost is pretty close on the early to-do list there. Another thing, we should probably take care that the coal patch is not staying like that either. Speaking about coal, we're definitely going to need coal in the mall as well. Because coal is actually used for quite a lot of things. Krastorio is really good at utilizing materials in many different ways. So, good old steam plant. It's always a joy to walk past these guys. It's only 60 megawatts, but it's all mine. Okay, let's check out what's going on here. We are depleting that patch quite nicely. I should actually pack up some mining machines into my pockets the next time I'm going back home and just plaster the coal patch with mining machines so we don't have to do this every now and then. You know, if we're just extracting the entire patch, it doesn't matter anymore. But that's not entirely true. So, let's see what the radar panel uncovered. We have 7.7 million units of stone in our vicinity there, and a huge coal deposit. This is very, very appealing. And we have 4 different oil deposits there, so this whole region here will definitely be used by me, because there's a lot of stuff that I want there. But what we don't have here is iron, so we're definitely going to need to pick up, I'm afraid, this little crappy deposit here. As tragic as that might be, I really don't see me getting along without those 300k. Wasn't there something bigger somewhere? Yeah, 1.3 million there. So we're going to be able to work with that. Okay, at least something. There's a small coal patch there, but really not worth going for that if we have this humongous thing there hanging around. And here, we are gnawing on the last bits of iron here. So, starter base will run out of stuff to produce very soon. Now then, this sucks. And so far, that first I had not enough copper, now I don't have enough iron. Well, we are going to set up core mining after a while, so these things will be not that much of an endless issue, but there's 71k iron there. Are you kidding me? That's so small, it's almost worth setting it up by a belt and just remove it afterwards. Ooh, that sucks, man. So we're definitely going to what? Yeah, I know what I'm going to do. I need to work on those warehouses. We are going to extract those things and store that stuff in warehouses a lot, because while these outposts are working, they aren't. These amounts are just not cutting it. So we are going to store that stuff and extract it beforehand. Doesn't make sense now, maybe, but it'll do in a while. Okay, so we got now all that set up, and we can now finally continue our work with the electronic circuit boards. Had to take a break back to the home base, though. Alright, and once the mall is set up, we're going to think about the actual lab. where, well, my goal for now is the typical 120 signs per minute, because I feel like 120 is pretty okay. Maybe we go for 180 this time. Maybe a little bit more ambitious. I don't know. Haven't really thought about that too much yet. So, let's see here. Electronic circuit boards. We are going to need how many copper cables for that? So, 3. So, how many does one of you spit out? 2. Okay. So it's going to be like that. And here we have nice and tidy ratio. You know what? We're going to make it like that. This is going to be a lot more easy this way. Because we're anyways going to produce only one of these at this point of the game. Pretty sucky, but it'll get us somewhere, you know? Okay, then. There we go. Our brave little machine here providing 1 chip per second. Better than nothing. It's constant, and it doesn't need stone. No, we would need more like that here. Okay. So we got that stuff, and we want that stuff. So I'd have more room for something obscure here on one of these belts. But what would you want to send together with electronic circuits anyways? Hard to tell. Whatever, we're just going to make it like that. Okay. So this will be the supply streams for the mall. Of course, we'll have to upgrade that later down the road by a lot. And I somehow think that this won't stay here forever, but well, no, it'll do its job just fine. Okay, advanced electronics. Nice. Oh yeah, military tech cards. Why not? So now we have pretty much everything you could ask for. The only thing we don't have are bricks, concrete, and steel. So bricks are the easiest thing to fashion up. Concrete, well, we're going to need just stuff we can't provide here. Yeah, so brick, concrete, stone, that's the next chapter. And steel then, afterwards. The biggest issue about steel is where to get the coal from. I'm really tempted to set up a new mining outpost down there, just because I don't really... Oh, I'm such a blind man. Oh, it is right in front of me. Good lord, I'm so stupid sometimes. Okay, we're going to use that one. Brilliant. I love it when problems come to an easy solution. So, let's see. Modular armor. Yeah, that's good stuff. Modular armor is really, really good stuff. Alright, well, let's pick up another radar panel. I got 112 power poles on me. Now let's just expand our vision range over to that direction. And then we're just gonna set up another train outpost there. Simple as that. We're just gonna import it the same way we did before. Oh, But I don't have enough steel for another choo-choo. Okay. Sucks. Is it far, or is it close enough to belt that? No. No, we're not going to belt that work, do we? We could. We could, actually. Or not. Well, let's just set up the vision range for now. I have a real hard time considering if that's worth belting or worth training, so to say. I mean, if I'd go all the way down there, I'd be not taking any questions. But you know what? We're going to make it with trains. Why? Simple answer. Ow. God, it burns. Because this way we'll be able to get that down later as well. Because I just saw that train track that we are laying down today is going to be used later for the import of other things. We're just going to remove a portion of it and just connect it with the other part later. Works out a charm. So I'm really thinking a lot more in trains this run, and it's good. It's really, really good. So far my plans are going out quite well, because my basic plan was this time to play earlier and more with trains without bothering me that I'm doing it not good enough, or they aren't efficient enough, or my train network is not big enough, or whatever. I just tried to set up in this run a system that's just working out small scale and has the idea of a bigger picture behind it already, so we can hopefully later do something useful out of that. That's the plan. The plan and the reality, they conflict, but we'll see how that works out. Okay, brilliant. Okay. So for the first time, something of my stuff got hit by a meteor. Who would have thought that it would be power poles I just placed down a second ago? Certainly not me. Alright. It was very important to me to fix that immediately. Alrighty, so here we go. That's our next victim. And I might not have enough mining machines right now on me to get the job done, but whatever, we're just going to prepare. It's very, very important to provide coal, because coal is just, you know, you need it at several points. Just to start with the steel production. It's just the beginning. So I want to go horizontally for a change again. We had a lot of vertical aligned patches this run. Alright. And once the mall is set up and running, I think one really, really big next topic is going to be that expansions and setting up the stuff that I want to set up and need to set up. Because we really need to expand. There's just not enough material available. I need to hook up a new iron mining post basically right now. I mean, sure, we have hundreds of thousands of iron ore units at our disposal, but I really like to plan ahead. I really love to have one. If one patch is running out, I love to have another one already hooked up, ready to kick in as soon as the first one runs dry. You know, that's just... I like to be prepared for such things. God, it's so annoying to walk these long paths. Ugh. I could have laid down train tracks already. Damn. I derped it. Gotta admit, I derped it. But I think it's also about time to set up some basics for armor. But before I do so, I'm going to pick up some steel. Because actually, now that I think about it now, I don't want to start out the mall with it before I have any steel production. It just doesn't feel right, you know? Because there's just so much stuff we'll need steel for, and same goes for concrete. Yeah, let's just better prepare for it now. It's gonna be fine. We're gonna be fine. I mean, I don't know how much iron ore I have stored up there at the shelter. But basically, the next bigger milestone goal I have is to automate the production of these fat boys here. Warehouses. Warehouses will allow me to just extract entire mineral patches and store them on site. And then I can remove the whole train track thing. I mean, the good thing is I don't need to ponder about these things too long and too tremendously out of one simple reason. We are going to apply core mining at some certain point down the road, and that means we are going to extract out of an endless reservoir. So... But I don't know how much material that actually yields, and if that's going to be really enough to satisfy the needs of an entire factory, or if we still have to stock up with extracted things, with locally extracted things, if you know what I mean. So that's what I want to find out here. So electric mining drills, come to Papa. And we are picking up here the steel plate, because we have to craft another choo-choo. So that's enough. Just wanted to have enough steel for the train. So we're going to make the coal train. Then finally, I hope we're going to be done with the whole outpost setup for the time being. So let's see, we have already only 541k here. That means we've already successfully extracted almost half of that patch. It's going down quite quickly, gotta say. But since I have upped the stack size for this run, you see, we have a stack size of 400. These things, they really carry a lot. They really carry a lot. So there's a lot of stuff inside, and let's check out the shelter. I really was curious about that. So that shelter is just storing 80,000 iron? That's all? Okay. We already used up so much iron? Creepy. Well, anywho, we got that, and now let's just consider where are we going to unload the coal. I think it's a quite simple thing. Shines, it is quite easily conceivable here. Oh god, I really hope I have enough rails on me. And I want to... Oh, wait a sec. Didn't these things need a ton of multi-cylinder engines? So... I know it's an extra mile to walk, but whatever. There we go. Basically direct crafting of a train thingy there. So I'll stick with just 2 cargo wagons again, because I know we don't really have the capacity to satisfy more than that. So, new train track, exciting. I even have the termite bots on me. 100. Quite revolutionary. So. Let's do the loop here. And then just let it ride like that. Let's hope it does. I never tried to make it like that, but it's actually working out pretty decently. Okay, and from this point on, we're going to head directly towards our whole patch destination. I hope I'm not skimming too close to the uranium patch. Doesn't really matter, huh? Oh well, since it does bother with the cliff there already. Oh god. Oh god. It burns. So since I'm not running any cliffs explosives yet, we're just going to take a slight detour here. It's actually not as bad. Alrighty. Man, progress. Quite fast progress too today. Because once these things are all finally set up and done, we are going to go through the whole lab setup in no time. Because honestly, setting up a laboratory that's running and all is going to be quite easy once we have the infrastructure that provides all the necessary machines to get the ball rolling. From that point on, we're just going to focus on satisfying ratios and setting up machineries or systems that are not going to be too wasteful. Okay, there we go. So we need 2 train stops again. And I got enough belt for that, I hope. Okay. So that's the coal connection. There we go. Choo-choo goes here. And now let's do the mine of madness. Okay, well. I'm always pretty generous with these things, gotta admit. Oh, there's some outliers there. Fun. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, it's a little bit of a ridiculous one that I just placed down there, way out there. He's going to be redundant in no time, but I like to leave no scraps. I basically hate it to have anything back left on the map when I'm done. By the time that I'm done here, that's why I'm placing down mining machines sometimes also on spots like these where, let's see, this thing has 400 coal to mine, and then its job is done. So this is an output of 62 per second, of course way too much for that snuggly little red belt to carry, but that's nothing unexpected here. So let's see, we're going to weave it through like that. This here. Let's connect these poor fools like that together. Why not? Looking stupid, but it's going to be removed in no time anyway, so... Little do I care. So, how much do we have on that now as a whole? 33.33. Perfect. Perfect. I like that. So, we're going to roll now that way. And we're going to roll down that way. Of course, our loading station will by no means be able to digest that much. It doesn't matter. I just make sure that these belts are digesting the amount of throughput, and we have everything set up to deplete the entire patch. That's all I'm looking for right now. We don't need more than that. Okay. And now on to the loading station. And then we're finally done with this phase of outposting. So... By now, I do get why people keep saying they don't like the outpost phase of this game. Where you have to build that many mining outposts and the stuff. Because there's really not that much challenge or anything in it. It's pure repetition. But oh, fine. I've had worse. So in this scenario, since we are directly digging out coal, I'm not going to be like shying away from using that stuff here. So we need the big power poles. I am lucky, I just got a full one other. Okay. There we go. And now we just need to power up the mining machines. And then we got a pretty nice supply of coal. And the best part about it is that later I'll be just using this part of the train track and just meet it up with the other connectors. We're just going to remove some of the parking stations that we are using right now, and we're just going to expand that with new outposts. So I really took a lot of care this time to only set up train tracks, short train tracks, wherever I feel like, oh, I'll be expanding that later because we need that stuff down there eventually anyways. So this is working out so far really decently. So, power footprint isn't that happy about it, but whatever. So, we got a locomotive full of coal. Nice. So let's just drive on up there. I need more chests. Good lord, look at those crazy thermite bots go. I didn't know that they'd be swarming out of the train as well. I didn't see that coming. So we're going to unload the train here. So we'll do boom and boom. So this one is waiting point empty cargo. This is one is empty full cargo. We're gonna meet each other soon. We're just picking up some iron plates to build up the unloading station, and then we are good to go. Alright, so you see we already have kind of a railway station here. The ends just don't come together yet. That's all. Okay, iron plates. I was lacking iron plates for the chests. And red belt for the transport. Here we go. And once all that is set up, I think I'm going to call it a day for today. Because I think we made a really, really fine piece of progress there. So the next things up on the tab are the steel production and the stuff we need to do out of stone. This is going to be most likely the easiest part. I mean, the stuff with the stone. But, you know, all that infrastructure here was sadly a really, really necessary evil. And I know that I'll be grateful for all the work I did later when all this is going to be of good use to me, because, you know, that's one thing I learned about this game the hard way. The preparation is really, really important. The better you are able to prepare for a goal, the more convenient your execution will be. My personal experiences, at least. Okay, my dear friends, I'll leave it like that for today. Oh, Nostario, how is my power situation? Well, before I leave, I'll answer you to that. So, I am right now at 60 megawatt per second, what to say. I'm running a steam power plant down here. Nothing special. Right now, I think it's 60 boilers, if I am not mistaken. No, 40 boilers even. We could upgrade that to more. Right now, we are... Wait a sec. They are using more water than they are actually... Did I misread that? Consumes water 20 per second. How can this be that officially these guys use consumption 11.2 of 20 per second, and here it tells me that they'd be using 2000 water. Well, I think the max rate calculator thingy is wrong there. I really want to upgrade the power as quick as possible. I just haven't fully figured out yet whether I want to go for gasoline or for more steam. That's basically the big question that's been bothering me. I really don't know in which direction I want to swing by. I certainly don't want to go to solar yet. Maybe later down the road, I don't know. But at this very moment, setting up a solar production is just nothing in reach. Right now, the next thing is steel, the derivatives of stone, and then get them all going, and then check out a nice place for the lab to happen. So that's what's up in my mind. So next time we're going to get there. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'll tune out now. Comments go down below. Thumbs up if you enjoyed, and consider subscribing. I'd be delighted to have you. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.